Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer Fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. I'm back, I'm Gomo, and I'm joined as usual by Andrew and Josh, even though we're a little late.
A little bit late.
Us.
A little bit late, 24 hours. Thanks for waiting for me, guys.
Oh, thanks for turning. Thanks for soldiering on. I know what it's like when you're one of those things when you every week you got to turn up, and then when you're not right on it or you're sick or something, it's like, oh, do I cancel it? Do we push it back? Yeah, it's a stressful Monday, isn't it, when that happens?
Oh, it is. It turns the whole week upside down, doesn't it? It's like, what are we doing? This major life obligation. I was no way I could do it yesterday. I was just way too sick. Today I'm just gonna muddle through. I think I'll be okay. But I'm talking about priorities, right? So I'm actually called in sick for tomorrow, so I'm not going to work tomorrow. But I'm still doing the podcast.
There you go. For some reason, I'm confused. Yeah, I think you actually told me this now. I forgot that. I thought for some reason you didn't work Tuesdays anday, but that did change, didn't it, or something?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about tomorrow.
Hang on, it's Tuesday. I see, I'm screwed already. 2 minutes in, I got it wrong. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, it's Tuesday today. Sorry. Welcome everyone to episode 123. Yeah, that's right. I just said before we hit record, we're on a quota for Josh's voice, so we'll try not to harass him too much. Can't do that.
As long as I can.
But yeah, we're going to be chatting a little bit of old world, a little bit of tactics. We brought it up last week. I think Andrew was pretty keen to get our thoughts now that we've been, I don't know, I guess playing old world, not as much as some people, but more than the average hobbyist. And obviously, run a podcast every week, and just talk about not tactics in general. It's almost specific, isn't it, Andrew? I mean, you can talk about it in a minute, but it's almost like it's those times when you rock up game 2 type thing and you actually don't know what you're going up against and you've just got the list. Maybe you haven't got the list yet because you didn't, it depends on the tournament. So, yeah, we just wanted to walk through some of those ideas and how we think about stuff and get your opinion too. So if you are watching back, like, subscribe, leave the comments in our chat. But if you are like one of our awesome patrons or all the other awesome people on YouTube who are watching live, thank you for watching and also putting up with us delaying it for a day. Who we got in there? We got Mark as usual. Mark Langley's in there, and Silver Dave is back.
He is back
last week.
Nah, he's
busy winning tournaments.
That's like a Tuesday night
and running tournaments.
It's too good. It's too good for us now. The big TO
and compact rider.
That is correct.
That's right. Sorry, Dave. We should have probably got you on because I would have loved to hear about that.
How it went.
What was it called? Sorry, mate. What was his? Do you guys remember what the actual comp pack he had? It was that weird acronym.
Well, wasn't it Dave Comp?
Yeah, it was Dave Comp. And who else we got? Gabrielle Strong. Evening, guys from the Blue Mountains. Hey, Gabrielle. I don't recognize the name. Let us know if you get into any tournaments down over in Sydney way. We might see you one day. And then we've got Svenga as well, or how do you say that? Svenga. So, yeah. And Mark said being confirmed can't milk Wednesdays. Okay. Interesting. Yes. Panwat. That's it.
I don't know what Mark's talking about. Therefore, when you say can't be a mammal, I don't know what he I mean, it's true. Anything that can't be milked is therefore not a mammal. But I didn't realize Wednesdays would be. Anyway, keep going.
You know what? I was going to. I was actually. I should have talked about this, not on the pod, but I was. There is something good about Tuesdays for me. Like that Monday, just is so busy, and then we go Monday, and then just having that one day of work, and then do the podcast on a Tuesday. And I actually don't mind it, but it's we've got into the Monday routine these days. Anyway, so thanks for all those who haven't watched us before. Obviously, we just sit here for the next hour or two. You can paint, you can hobby, you can share your hobby on our Discord, the Australian Discord. There is a live stream, Old World Fanatics live stream channel that people do share stuff. And if Josh or Andrew see that, they can bring it up as well. But we're going to talk about this tactic stuff. Then we have our usual halftime shout out for our awesome patrons. We also if we don't tend to run long because we don't ramble, but there is some meta stuff that if we do get to, we could transition into there. Just because I have no hobby, so If we need to, we might talk about that. But if not, we can hold that on for another. But that's about it, I think, for the house. There's absolutely cool news out. We're going to be talking about the workshop, so it's just
You keep dropping in and out, Como.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You went all fuzzy.
Oh no!
Did you hear that, Andrew?
I only heard you just then, like right at the end, started dropping out. But before that, you didn't seem too bad.
Sorry, I've been playing around my setup, everyone. So I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. And I've been killing my machine with work. So who knows?
You sound okay now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been Josh when I was looking over there. This is the problem.
It does. I did notice that with your mic. If you're not,
that? Hello,
Rex.
hello.
Yeah, it kind of it goes.
Just this mic, it's like that, and then I don't want to be right on it, but I have to be, and it's a pain in the bum. But anyway, we'll worry about that later. Cool. I'll do my best, guys.
Let's go.
Down.
Nice.
Cool. So, Andrew, you want to give us a little bit of a background?
Oh God, straight into it.
Yeah, well, it's sort of after our game, wasn't it? You sort of were thinking about it.
Yeah, well, it was because I feel like we haven't touched on this for a while, and I think it's very important. And sometimes people do, episodes on it. But to me, it's what makes and breaks a game. And I just find sometimes I don't do it as well as I have previously, and I've done quite well. So I was thinking, maybe if we discuss it again, try and get some good ideas off each other. I think we kind of went through this with ASB as well, but just everyone's like, dude, just shut up and tell us. It's about how you're, like Gomo said, this is like, especially game 2, because game 1, usually you got a list, but game 2, if you're at a tournament, like, you've just swapped lists with old mate, you're going through everything, and then it's like during going through his list and seeing his army, between that point in time and deployment, like how do you come up with a game plan? Have you already come up with a game plan? Like you're looking down and, what happens if, it's a list you didn't want to come up against, or you're unfamiliar with something, like, and how the battle goes, obviously, as well. Like we can touch, there's some questions on that, but basically it's, like how do you go from that point in time to actually deploying, to coming up with a game plan and executing that game plan. So I think that would be
a holistic topic. Yeah. It's a big one.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's one of those things where you don't have to, I don't know. I feel like you can also take as little as you want or as much as you want in terms of the prep for this stuff too. Because it's not always, like obviously we're talking competitive here. I won't say I'm the best competitive player, but I sit in the mid table. So it's one of those things. To me, honestly, it's one of those things I'm trying to get better at. Just to caveat that as I'm saying what I'm saying, a lot of it is I'd like to do this. I don't think I do it very well, but that's why I'm pretty keen to talk about it. So
yeah. I think we'll have lots of caveats on our advice. Do as we say, not as we do.
So I think. At the start, we could all just do a little quick 5-minute rundown on our sort of like.
I don't know. The chat is just going on about how I use a mic and how they use the MIK as well. Maturity in this chat.
Awesome. That is very
sorry, Andrew, what was that?
Who's this mic guy? No, so we're going to go and go around, all three of us. 5 minutes. I'll start so you understand, my little point of view, my little tidbits, and then you guys can just add in. That's deployment. How do you come up with the game plan? Do you work it out during deployment? Do you have pre-deployed set plans, and then you sort of wait until your game and then execute one of those, or do you just do that tit for tat deployment where you just sort of trying to out deploy your opponent? So for me, I'll just give you a quick 5-minute rundown on what I do. So obviously coming up with a tournament list, I come up with something that I like to do. And for me, I don't usually come up with a huge amount of magic offense or defense. I've tried it a few times, or coming up with lists centered around spells, and I found it just doesn't work very well because,
Did you find that pre or post 1.5 as well? I shouldn't probably butt in.
Yeah, probably post, but it definitely happened pre. Unless you spent heaps of points on it, a lot of the time it'd be a critical moment. It wouldn't work out, or you have 2 unlucky turns in a row, and it just goes to poo. But anyway, so I've sort of like, I come up with a list, and then usually what I try and do, and then this is my game style, is I like to come up with little groups of like models. So I'll pre-plan in my head. I'll be like, oh, this will be my little flanker. This will be like a defensive main, and like I kind of give them little roles to do. And what I usually like to come up with a game plan, as Gomo will probably attest to, and I'm sure people that play me often will attest to, is I like to prioritize with my list and my play style as much board control as I can get. Like I like movement, and Gomo can say that 100%.
And flyers,
flyers, yeah. Movement and flyers for me are like some of the most important things.
I think that's why I've never got around. Yeah, because I love for those who don't remember, I don't even know what episode it is, but when we talk about ASB, he's been on a few times, and he always talks about that whole work out if you're going to attack or defend. And I go, when do you ever attack Andrew? Because he's crossed the border your turn one.
But there's a reason for that, and the reason is because I'm not the most tactical player in the world, but I found that if you especially get turn one and you're lucky and you can just move stuff up, it really just rattles your opponent. That's one thing I found. And sometimes something you think would be predictable, it's almost like it's not. Like I've had some games where you go up and they've got an attacking force, but sometimes they're just like all of a sudden defending and pulling back, and so yeah, that's the way that I usually come up with it. And that's sort of like just an example of what I do.
So what you're saying there, though, I'm hearing is like it's in list design that you've almost simplified what you're going to do anyway.
Yes, I try and come up with something that's not super complex, and there can be movement with it. Obviously, as you know, I do like having an anchor, and I think in a lot of games, a list, you do need an anchor, either a unit or a character that can, give it and take it a bit. To me, that's like your primary anchor unit, be it a dragon or, a lord, or even two guys together. Like if you've got like this
two
little
toughness
group.
7s,
or
three toughness 7,
toughness 7 things, yeah. But yeah, usually there's got to be some sort of the thing that's going to win you a game. I'm not usually one of these people, because you get some people and they can like MSU. I can't. That's just too much management for me. I can't work that out.
Well, even balanced lists. I mean, maybe I'll get onto that later. I'll ask you that later. Keep going.
Yeah. No, that's me basically. So that's my play style and how I come up with a game plan and deploy. So that's basically it. The only thing I was going to say will be, I don't counter deploy so much, but I will come up with, so I will have like a preset game plan, and then everything in my list, it will have a purpose. And it's because it's usually always offense. Then it's always just picking the targets that you can take out. And then working out what can kill you, trying to stay away from that or keep it busy. And basically what you can and can't take on. So mine's quite simple, and I've sort of designed the list around that.
Do you want to go, Josh, or do you want me to go?
Can I call out some of these comments? Because
I don't know.
So Silver Day is this one.
One of them was good as well.
This is funny. The true art of planning deployment is to come up with a plan and then deploying in the complete opposite way. Lose the game, tell yourself never do that again, and then do it again.
Yeah, 100%. Is that what I started? Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then Mark's one on my game plan, Josh's game plan: sit down, take out army, give opponent the serial killer eyes. Opponent immediately routes. Josh's place down the monolith. Opponent concedes and legs it. Have you seen my monolith? Say hello to my not so little friend. I'm just gonna flop my monolith on the table. I'm so immature.
I need to build I don't think you can, but it'd be cool if you could a StreamYard plug-in that just counts the monolith words and just ching goes up the side.
I was playing Claire Obscure today, which is and they had like this theme about monoliths in like
what,
in it.
sorry, what is that?
This like Expedition 33 game called Claire Obscura, which is I don't know.
I don't know any of the words you just said then, but cool.
It's all about a monolith. I had no idea there was a monolith in it, and I'm like, this whole thing is centered around a monolith. I can't escape them. They're just following me everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, actually, before one of us goes in, and Mark just asked you a question, Andrew. He said, "What happens if they immediately full pelt at you? If you don't get turn one and they full pelt at you, you usually fly on the back of them, do you?"
Yeah. Well, that's it. I usually try and get around them. Or another good one I find is just misdirection. So like, you might just use one unit to try and keep somebody busy, and your intention is never to even get into combat in the first place, or only get into combat, if you have to. Just try and keep a few, units, especially units that you can't take on, or won't be able to take on quickly. So if you've got like huge blocks of infantry, I don't usually like hitting those unless you try and separate them, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Support each other.
Did you
Anyway, sorry.
have any thoughts, Josh, just overall, like in terms of your general approach for this?
I don't know where to go with this. It's such a broad topic. I think in theory, I do try to, like, when looking into other lists and stuff, you try to work out, what's going to be threats, what you think you can handle, and what sort of matchups you want your units to be against theirs. But there's so many variables in terms of deployment and that type of thing. You can get in your own head about trying to focus too much on where they're putting their units to try to get your units sort of in the right matchups. But sometimes you can end up deploying quite poorly in terms of where the terrain is and that type of thing.
Or you put yourself out. Your units aren't then supporting each other because you've plonked them down in an order. Yeah.
You're not building on the synergies of your own army because you're thinking too much about where your opponent's putting it. So to some extent, I feel like you do need a set plan for your army that you can then maybe vary a little bit, but you don't want to be overthinking it to a large extent as well. And then it also depends as well on what order stuff is going down. Like I'm actually focusing on deployment because I feel like the deployment is actually massively part of the game. Like I feel like a lot of games, that's probably the time when you have the most choice about where things go and how the game sort of comes out. And I think that's where you can make a lot of mistakes as well. And talking about mistakes, I'm going to bring up this. I don't know if you remember this, Andrew.
Yep.
Takes us back to Castle Assault. Now I'm gonna call out something in particular, a major mistake I made with this deployment, which is the game I played against Andrew back in Castle Assault, and this is partly because he had the advantage of deployment in that he could deploy like his dragon and a lot of his really mobile and aggressive units right like late, because he actually. Because my mate, I'm going to talk about mainly the ground knights, which are in the foreground there, that, I've actually misdeployed them, or he's forced me to misdeploy them, to be honest, because, I could have deployed them more centrally, but the fact he was able to wait for them to come down, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to put everything that I don't want the ground knights to be in the far corner, meant that that unit in the game that we played didn't do a huge amount. Like I think it struggled to get in combat. Like it spent 3 turns coming towards the sea guard across the diagonally across the board, and it's a massively important part of the army. At least I was able, like this army was flexible enough that I could redeploy my characters into different lances, so they could actually regain some relevance. But it was just I was just thinking about it as a good example of, I guess, your strategy about out deploying and using mobility and threat, but also I think sometimes I was a bit distracted by the position of the pond and a few of the other terrain bits. But it just meant I wasn't thinking about, these ground knights could end up being, rendered irrelevant depending on where my opponent deploys them.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good point. I think I'm probably similar to all you guys in a way, but I probably, I'll just go back to because Andrew's lists are definitely, you have that definitely style of rush it. And I probably tend to, I think what I like to do is try build. I probably do play on the, it's got sometimes it's a gimmick. Sometimes it's just like a Voltide spell, or it's a big block of archers, or it's like that one big thing. And so therefore it almost dictates, I probably do it because I I just need that simple way of going, well, this is how the list works. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know, I need to Voltide things. So therefore I just need to get people in range of my Voltide, and I don't have to sort of, like, I don't know. I think it simplifies it for me. But as a result, I'm sort of the reverse of you, Andrew, in that I try to keep it simpler, but I definitely don't do the rush lists as much. I am more of a defense. Like I need to be more aggressive and I'm not, but I tend to do that. Like I tend to sort of do the lists that, okay, well, sometimes it's more about how do I get them to come over to where I want rather than, because a lot, I don't know, maybe it's just the armies I play. A lot of them, I mean, Tomb Kings, yes, there's a lot of flyers, but I don't know, like orcs, general, just when you've got infantry, Night Goblin units, or you've got Tomb King, just skeletons, or you've got Beastmen, they're not exactly the most like, rush across the board. I mean, they do rush, like, but they're not like you guys, like not when you've got a dragon and, you know, other flyers and 2 eagles and stuff that you've had, or your knights. So I haven't really played a lot of cav armies, like, except for that WoW list I did, Nomadic WoW.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I don't know, I think I don't build a list generally. That's the bit I would like to get better at, and we'll talk about that probably next week. But you start thinking about building lists, you know, for a certain, rather than just like I pick things that I like initially, or I like that particular. Yeah, I want to try something with the Voltide now. Or like in Beastman thing, it wasn't even that. It was just I wanted to actually build the army and airbrush it. So then it was like, okay, well, what's good? Oh, okay, Voltide is all, you know. So you just lead into it. But yeah, so but the approach at the table is different, because I'm not trying to always rush it. I'm usually trying to get them to come into my zone of like that. I know it's like, for example, it was the archers. I need you to get into that 24-inch range or whatever to poison it and things like that. So I definitely always pretty much deploy a set. Like I could probably just deploy without looking at the other person a lot of the times. There might be 1 or 2 units that I have as an option in my head to go, okay, if they're over there, I'll put that over there. But otherwise, they're all going like this. That's generally how I've done it. And that works most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. But I found what you said, Josh, that if I tried to get in my head, well, look, game 2, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to look at someone's list and know what I match up against with anyway. Like until I could spend enough time to go through everyone's list, which generally I just haven't ever done. One day I will.
And it requires knowing the armies really well, right? Like,
yeah. And with that though, like I do find, like if I come across like an orc and goblin army, you just instantly then feel a bit more comfortable. Like you do the same thing or something, Josh.
Of course.
Okay, well, so it's probably just that.
And it's easier to work out if they have more threat than you in terms of whether you need to go towards them or you can sit back as well. Like you can judge it much more easily if you're familiar with the list.
You know how shit some stuff actually is. Where else like it.
I know, that's what's funny. It's like
some
even like
fanatics,
you're like, I could probably get through them because half of them won't move. You know, like whereas other people are like, but then they do kill you. So it's like, but I mean, sorry,
I'll pop up Silver Day's comment as well, which is in relation to my example with the Ground Knights. He was like, the real benefit of Peg Knights, they cover deployment areas pretty easily, which is definitely true. And I feel like that's almost okay. I'm gonna have a weird approach to this. It's almost slightly. I feel like that's one of the problems with the game is that there are a lot of units that break the rules of movement. And can mitigate or reduce the importance of getting the deployment right, because I feel like the movement is what the game is, the movement and deployment. And if you have units that can just ignore those rules and just go wherever they want, and half the army is that, I feel like it starts to feel a little bit less Warhammer and more like I don't want to say Age of Sigmar, but more like a skirmish game.
No, like that's I mean, it's okay when there's a few like that, but definitely it's just it's a bit on the nose when one of them has been so good. But I mean, they've come down a bit, which is good. But I know what you mean. But that's what flyers are like for me a little bit. That they're not as obviously pegs fly as well, but they're the skirmish ones. But flyers just can negate that bad deployment a little bit, or at least give you the option. You know, like if you have flyers in the middle of your deployment zone, you can pretty much get where you need to. That's what
they can, which is okay, but it depends how hard hitting they are. Like that's this big example where it's got like a bunch of characters in it and they're all really hitty, and you've got all these pig nuts. Like it's probably the worst example of it because you know flyers as a category shouldn't be so like they're typically not so hard hitting apart from like dragons and stuff, obviously. But yeah, that it particularly sort of breaks the rules of the game and in a way that sort of warps it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I mean, it sounds like we're all on the same. I mean, it sounds a little bit like we're saying that given the complexity of the game, that when you rock up to turn 2 or like game 2, it helps massively if your approach is quite simple, even though it's a very complex game. It's like, this is, you know, and I guess with one of the other things I've tried to do is sort of break my list down a little bit into maybe 3 parts, you know, like as in like this unit group go here, this group goes here, and that group goes there, because that way I'm not playing with 13 drops, if you know what I mean. Like it's
well, how many drops do you like to have? Like, because do you guys prefer to have a few like trashy drops at the start to try to get the deployments going so you can see where your opponent's going? They come back to army list building though, I guess.
Well, it does. I used to do that a little bit, and then I found, like you're saying before, I don't know if I make too much of a difference between jumping around. So it's less. Sometimes I actually feel like, and that's a good question, Josh, because sometimes I feel like I start dropping the shitty ones. Yeah. And the problem is they're the ones that end out of position because they're the ones you fucking need to chaff, and then you've just dropped them randomly like across the board. Yeah. And suddenly you're like,
absolutely.
I should have just put my fucking big block right in the middle and then see what they did and then put my chaff last.
Because you know what happens as well? You put the chaff down and you're like, oh, I kind of wanted to put the big block in that really nice central area, and now I've chaffed myself. My own chaff deployment. Can't even deploy properly because I was trying to outthink my deployment.
That happens.
Damn it. What have I done?
A lot. Or if the other people have a look what I'm doing, I'm usually measuring how wide are my dragon ogres again and how wide's that space. Like, you know exactly where I got to put it.
So to some extent you go, do I just prioritize getting the nice units down a little bit sooner before I accidentally block them from earlier on in my deployment? Because that can be disastrous. If you end up having to put something behind another unit or behind a bit of terrain or something, it's like, you know, you've really inhibited yourself.
The only thing, like, with our game, Andrew, and I can't believe Josh was nearly dying, and he even had pictures up. I was just trying to like race to try and find a picture. We didn't really take pictures in our game; we did all video. But if people hadn't watched the game the other day, but because that was I thought that was an interesting game in the sense that, like, I knew you were taking Chaos Dwarves. I think you did share the list. You probably did. And obviously with Viletide, you're like, well, I can't even hurt toughness 7.
Yes.
So in my head going into the game, the only thing I really want to do is make sure that my Dragon Ogres and Shaggoth get into combat with some of those toughness 7, because otherwise, what else? Like, that's the only thing I can do. And then, so if you remember, I didn't dump the Dragon Ogres straight away, but once I realized can't remember what happened. I think you might have put one tank on your left, and I'd put like one of my shitty pigs over there at some point. And then I think at some point you put the other one or something else on the other side. I can't remember what it was. Or maybe it was the Wyvern. I can't remember. But it got to the point where I went, oh, cool. I can, because there was going to be a time where I split the Dragon Ogres and Shaggoth, and I didn't want to. And then as soon as I realized I could put them on one side, and then hopefully that's why I put the pigs. So I ended up with 2 pigs against one of your tanks. And then it's not a tank. What's it called again?
The Iron Demon,
Iron Demon. Just so people listening know what the hell I'm talking about. And then, because he was playing Chaos Dwarves. And then I ended up with my left flank. My left flank was like Dragon Ogre and Shaggoth versus, Iron Demon, your toughness 7 prophet dude on a Bale Taurus, and the Orc, Black Orc on the Wyvern. But to me, that was a good matchup, because I had the 2 pigs, and I did what you were saying. I can't remember if it was you or Josh, where it's like, I just sent the pigs up there just to be annoying, because like, you ended up having to try and chase it with this Iron Demon. Well, can't hurt it, but
Yeah.
At least and that's what I tried to do over there is just be an idiot, like just fling them around and go around the side of you and just distract that Iron Demon to keep it out of the game. And then luckily, obviously, I got a Voltite off on the Orc and killed him. So suddenly it was like, this is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Now I've got 2 big units that with strength 7, strength 8 great weapons. They can actually take on these things. That's probably the most like tit for tat that I usually would do. But that was only because it was so like, if I misdeployed it, I was going to get totally screwed because like if you had all of it coming into and the only thing I had was Voltite, I couldn't stop you. You just rolled down the whole flank. You know, like if I hadn't misdeployed it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. That's just an example of sometimes when I have been able to, I guess, you know, do somewhat of I'll put this here if you put something over there. But generally I found it just works better if I just try and plonk it generally the same way that I usually do.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And like, because Josh was saying sometimes you, like if you got too many units or if you try and do tit for tat, you plonk down stuff in areas that are useless. And I've done that so many times that now I'm usually trying to always put it somewhere central, but you might make sure it's not right on the line. So it's in the way. You might put it behind a forest or, you know, behind some impassable, especially something like an eagle. You know, I love my eagles.
Yeah.
They're a classic example. Like you can hide those back, hide them away nicely, or you know how you always got like a flank force. Like for some reason, everybody, I got these 5 wolf riders. I'll just stick them on the flank. Like you know, they're just obligatory.
Gotta have the flank. You gotta have the flankers.
That's it.
It's drilled into us, I think, since the early 90s, and that was what they all talked about with the little White Dwarf magazines. It was always there's this little flanking force, a unit of 5.
Wolf riders on the flank. Get the combat, panic, and run off.
There's actually a great few questions here that we should discuss in hobby time if we get around to it. With is it Gabriel? Is he the guy who's building up is it Gabriel? Who's from Blue Mountains? He was building up the Beastman.
Yes.
Questions now or comments. So hopefully, that
was him.
Yeah, that's cool. Andrew, did you want to like keep circling on? Was there? Or do you want to get into some of those questiony things?
Oh no, I reckon we hit the questions because otherwise we'll be rambling all day. Did you want to hit?
Yeah, well, I'll bring. I guess. Yeah, I'll bring one of them up, which is because we talked a little bit about that. You get the list, you sat down. You know, gives you, or you know, you've probably had the list ahead of time. But let's be honest. Well, especially the tournaments we've been going to, Andrew, where there's 44 people. Like, I mean, you just don't have. I don't know. You don't have time to go through.
Ain't got time for that.
I mean, I look at them, but do I actually know? So I guess what's your strategy, guys, if you don't have, like if you've got the time, if you're a player and you've got the time and you're doing a, you know, green or like traffic light thing on them and stuff, that's we're not talking about that. We're talking about like, you probably are the average Joe, you know enough about things, but you're not a beginner, but you know, you still look at a list and you probably only know a third to a half of the magic items, what they do. You know the main units, but maybe 100% don't know how they go up against each of yours. What's your approaches there, I guess? Like, are you just looking at some of the lists, or like, do you even look at it? Like, what are you guys scanning? Do you even look at the list when people give it to you? Or
my take's basically all I do is just scan through stuff that I don't understand, or you know, if it's something that I've never seen before, or like a unit I've never really seen, or if something's centered around something, like, you know, sometimes you know that an army's centered around, you know, 1 core unit or 2 core units, and you haven't seen it, you know, that's when I usually do a bit of investigation. But it's only just to find out how a list works. If it looks a bit, you know, I don't understand it, that's about as far as I go. As long as I know what the units do to a certain extent, I'm pretty happy that I can play it with my sort of play style.
Right.
It's just understanding the units and trying to work out synergy. If there's, you know, an expensive unit, sometimes you might have some 400-point Slaneshi Chaos guy, you know, with some things you might be like, oh, what's this? So you just look into it. Like, to me, that's a red flag if you've got an expensive unit and you got no idea what it does. So
yeah, true. And yeah, you can try to look for weaknesses in the list or things that might have been designed properly, or like if you had that very expensive unit but it had very poor mobility and it didn't have much threat range, you might go, oh, okay, I might not, I might just not engage with that massive terrifying unit of Chaos Warriors that they can't hurt me unless I actively engage with them.
Yeah.
But also the context is to your own list, because you need to be looking at, because I feel like you would look at opponent's list completely differently depending on what army you're actually running yourself as well. Like if I'm running the Bretts, then I'm looking at okay, what would be a good target for my Lord to go into? What would be a good target for my Growls to try to hit? What's the sort of the priorities, which is a more aggressive, much more aggressive approach than, say, like, for example, if I was playing the Cult of Slaanesh in 6th Ed, where I'm more thinking, what's going to kill me? What do I have to avoid? What do I have to run away from? It's because it's such a different mentality, depending on what I'm actually playing with, in terms of how you interpret the threats of your opponent's list.
I've this is the thing that I get frustrated with myself about as well, and probably because I tune out when I look at the list and go, and it's not that, like I said, Andrew, I understand when I can look at the unit and see that it's 430 points or whatever it is, like bang bang bang. But to me, the things that I remember that have got me in a game, and I'm not trying to say they're gotchas, because they're not. It's just literally a lack of not playing. I mean, it's a freaking complex game, and especially with all these factions and sub factions. So like things like when I played Paddy Gallagher's Wood Elves, and you get the tree cannon in your brain, you're all like, I mean, this is what Paddy does to you, because she's got she takes all the units that most people go, oh, shit.
Still keeping up at night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Close you got.
Yeah. And it's just like, so like,
living rent free in Gomo's head.
And ASB's good at it too, because you look at what they've got on the table and nothing looks threatening. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
this list is shit.
Yeah. And so like,
I know, I hate that moment where you're like, I can.
And so like when those tree can come over and you somehow put your dragon eggers into them and they fucking just get killed because they're the worst thing to put into them. I think that's what it was. Because they've got the initiative test, whatever it was, where it's just, they're the worst unit to put in there. But at the time, I had no idea.
Typing.
It's just like, or like when I went against Feuds, the expeditionary forces with all the the not encroachments, what are they called? The little barrier thing, entrenchment thing, and he's But they ask about the list, and it's just me not knowing enough. You just sort of go, oh man, God, you just got to play more. It's like sometimes it's just that, and because otherwise they're the things that I feel like I've gone really bad at when it's just gone south. And it's just like, oh, I didn't even know it did that. Like, even though they've probably told me, I didn't really factor it in as how bad it would be to a certain matchup until you actually end up in it. Well, in one of those games, I got around it, so it's fine. But the other ones, you just go, oh, I've just got nailed. So I don't know. It's a tough one sometimes without playing a million games.
So I think that kind of ties on to one of your other comments or questions that you sort of had, Gomo, which was similar to one of the ones I had. Was thinking about is how do you play for time, or how do you come up with a scenario to come back if you're losing or your game plan's not working. So classic example, as you saw in our game, was basically, first turn of moving into positions, and then you blow up my Black Hawk, which was like a huge part of my list. So obviously, Black Hawk on the Wyvern, pretty kitted up. Like they're quite cheap. So he was 350 points, which isn't like the end of the world, but I feel like Black Orcs on Wyverns are worth more. As in point for punch, they're quite a good unit for what you pay for them. And you taking that out for me was quite hard for me to regain my composure, I would say. And I feel like this is sometimes where you see people lose composure. So I suppose that would be my question to you. What do you guys do if something doesn't go awry, or your plan just, you know, just goes south pretty quick? Oh, sorry. I'll aim that at Josh. I didn't. I just said guys. Yeah. Josh can hit first.
I don't know how to answer that really. You know, if something goes pear shaped, I mean, you just keep playing. You just want to try to get as much points out of the opponent as possible and try to conserve your own points. I'm not sure how to elaborate on that one really.
I think, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a couple of things that I thought of. Is one of them, again, it's not going to help if you're already in the game, but it's a bit of list design where you have that redundancy built in. So what's better than one Black Orc and a Wyvern, Andrew? You know, two. So
yeah,
of course. But you've got that with your tags or whatever. So I feel like you do that sometimes. Yeah, two eagles. So like there's that part. The other bits, like probably what Josh is saying, is like it depends how far south it's gone, and then you start going, okay, well now I'm going to just try to take this, or start jumping out of the way and things like that. I used to really like 8th a bit, where you used to like, oh shit, I've done it. Actually, I've done it in Old World now too, where it's like, this wizard's done its job now, and I've got to sacrifice him. So now you start using some of the other pieces that you weren't originally going to use for those type of jobs. But sorry, man, you're a chap now. You go, like that type of thing. So I guess it's those little things that you just got to end up doing, and not be too scared to go, oh no, I can't. You know, that thing's I don't know. This is a knight. It's supposed to do X, Y, Z. And it's like, well, sometimes it's better now to do something that it wasn't originally in your list for, but it can back up if it has to. So
yeah. So
easier said than done if your mobility is not there as well. But yeah.
Well, I would ask Josh this. Like, obviously, this is probably a bit of an open question that it's going to be hard to answer as well. But if you come up with a game plan at the start, just it's turn 2 or 3 and it's starting to go south, would you try and come up with another game plan, or do you just go straight to, I got to conserve points and try and get more points from him to win the game? You don't try and sit there and, general pattern and come up with like a new strategy as such?
Not really. No, I mean, I'm not sure how much strategy I have from the start.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem. The good players don't need it.
That's it.
Oh, I don't know if that's true. Sorry. I think at that point you start compartmentalizing a little bit different areas of the board, trying to work out what units you can drag over to help certain areas, or can maximize their value if they're sort of insulated from where things are going pear-shaped. Because you can often drag a few points back if you can go, okay, well, they've spent a lot of points to do this, they've taken out a few of my units here. If I can maybe move some of my mobile units over to here, where he's got maybe a few missile troops and stuff that are a bit unguarded because he's dedicated his more combat oriented areas to take out like my center of my army, and maybe I can scrape back some more points and that type of thing. I think you got to just throw the game plan out the window if things are going pear-shaped, right? You've got to adapt. You can't just keep barreling along. It depends on the army though as well. Like I feel like the more static armies like Gomos, like I feel like the strategy's a bit more fixed, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whereas
fixed in place.
Playing the Bretts and just how far they can reach means that I feel like they can alter their target, like a couple of turns, and they can be completely different area of the board, I suppose, depending on where they're pointing.
And
that's
to that point, Josh. Yeah, like I probably have found times where it's not so much altering the game plan, but it's like you start putting more eggs in one basket. Like you start going, oh crap, well, that's like that. So therefore, Yeah, I'm gonna have to move those three. Whatever it is, these
Yeah.
2 volts. I'm gonna throw everything now at that thing.
Start YOLOing.
Yeah,
You start- course.
sort of. But it's probably more the eggs in one basket type approach.
Yeah.
Where usually you would be trying to keep everything busy, but at some point because you've lost a bit, you go, well, I'm gonna have to basically ignore those things. They're gonna get me next turn, but I'm gonna just try and like recapitalize. Hopefully, I get the spells. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, but yeah, and that's probably like you said, Josh. The armies I've played or whatever, they tend to be a little bit, they're static or they move it. Like in terms of the Beastmen, you sort of get around your herd stand or wherever, and then you're hanging out in the middle of the board or whatever. So like you don't really have the opportunity to go all over the shop. Although more and more, I'm starting to really value ambushing now again in this edition with these. Domination and all that stuff. And so, now you can put everything on the other side of the board. And if I don't care if it turns up to turn 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's almost better.
Yeah. So there is, the game just keeps evolving, I guess. And I don't know if that's just me or it is. I'm just getting a beer. Hang on.
I found a really useful strategy talking about going and getting a beer. If it's turn 3 or 4, I know a lot of people frown upon it, but I like to do this. I just start, just dropping dice and going for extended toilet breaks and go get a beer, and then hopefully you just run out of time, like. No, I don't do that. I swear
we've got to get to that. Obviously, I mean that's went without saying. Like everyone does that.
That's
right?
plan C.
Everyone does that.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it too bad. Like I think I've seen it like a little bit, maybe. People just trying to drag one turn out. But yeah, I have heard of people getting absolutely smoked, turn 1, turn 2, and it's like still goes through to like 5 turns, and they're like, man, there's like full slow play going on, like full dropping dice and just dropping everything, and
the dropping's annoying, but I feel like you can't judge it all the time if someone is actually just because they're like,
no,
because I'm going to shit, so I have to think. No, like it's you got to think about this thing because now it is like if I make the wrong decision, it's screwed. Versus like you're saying, if people are deliberately dropping things or being annoying or getting 4 beers in the first turn or 4th turn, then maybe they are slow playing a bit. So.
You don't see it too much. Like I haven't seen it for quite a while. I find like especially Western Sydney guys, like they're competitive but they're fun. So like it's not about the win so much as like just having a fun game. So it's kind of like they're both in there. So I've just found on my recent games, like I haven't they've been really good. If somebody gets tabled, they're like, yeah, man, you smash me, and they're just like, yeah, take my points. Like it's not.
Yeah. No, that's good. What else did we have in there? We had well, actually, I mean, you sort of talked about this. It's the whole magic thing. So you're off that a little bit. Like you haven't. Is there any armies in your collection though that you would leverage into it? Because I think still some armies can, but is that just you're off the sort of build into the magic? Did you ever do that in 8th, or was it always?
Yeah, like I took stuff, and like for me, I suppose like you might have seen it in early editions where I was trying to get rid of like armor saves, things like that. With I'm trying to remember, with the high elves, the one that gets rid of magic items.
The 12-inch.
I know.
Balls making.
Yes, balls. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's probably just because you don't have those saves anymore, and you don't see the ogre blade as much. Like it's not as important. I would probably, some lists I have been looking, because magic missiles are very strong at the moment, taking a few magic missiles, but at the same time I've been a little bit hesitant because I don't know, just from the chaos. I was looking into that and I'm like, oh no, I want to go a cav list again. So I want to go stuff that's, a bit faster. Cav and chaff, I love that. Just big units of shit. Just send them forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does. So there's something about just like, like even if you're not that threatening, unless you are totally shit, they can just recharge you. But most of the time, because you've put yourself in that position that you're going to charge next turn, that person has to work out what they want to do like straight away. Like that's the advantage of what you do when you just push it in. And I don't, sorry, it's not like you're just pushing it in. You're not pushing it across the table like, say, Chaos Might or one of those armies that can just go across and get tanked back and they're okay. You are usually positioning it in a way that you'll get the turn 2 charge, and because you're so quick, like it's on people. But yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a lot of this is down to list design, guys. But going to deployment, Josh, because you were talking about this before. You're right. Do you think, like, I've always thought like you could literally play and practice just deployment and turn 1 and 2 over and over again? Do you think there's any, and we might have talked about this before on the pod, but do you think there's any merit in that? Because sometimes I feel like it is so important that sometimes the rest of the game is heaps important, and that's usually what might win it, because if you push through to turn 6, you can get a win or whatever. But I feel like that position is so much easier if you get turn 1 and 2 right. Well, not right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, yeah, I mean, it's massively important. It dictates so much how the game goes. I think practicing it by playing to the end of turn 2. I don't know. Do you get enough information to know that what you've done was actually the right thing?
Yeah, maybe not. That's very. I mean, this is the thing.
There's
It
so
depends on
many
the
variables
army.
in the game.
Yeah.
There's so many dice to roll.
That is true.
I guess if you keyed into an AI and go, was this the right move? Maybe he'll be able to do.
Who knows? Yeah. That's
interesting though. It's very interesting to think about the idea of just practicing deployment first and second turn. However, there's so many other variables in terms of army lists and what you're playing against that, if you are playing against the same person each time and you're practicing the deployment and the first couple of turns against that army, then I think that would be massively helpful. But the problem is, again, and this is the beauty of the game, is that there's so much variability between lists and armies and players and play styles that it can be really hard to replicate it in a way that's of use, I think, unless you had a very static deployment, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing I thought of too when I'm thinking about this, it's more like if you actually went and got help from like I know like Ed from Close Order does coaching business, and stuff like that. And I think he's doing it full time and everything now.
Is he?
Yeah, like it's actually, you can actually make some money. So like it's I feel like if the person is good enough and has enough experience, especially across a wide range of armies, I think it'd be very interesting exercise to do that. It's probably an online thing where you literally go, here's my list and here's the army list that I'm coming up against, and just you pick like you let the other, like the experienced guy, like pick 5 random lists and you just set it up, and the experienced guy will go, well, yeah, this is how we've set up, but you probably could have done this, or you watch out, like you sort of do it and talk about it, and then you go, okay, now you're playing this list, what are you gonna do? And now I reckon that sort of, so you're not even playing past deployment almost, you're just like going, put it down, talk through it, but it would only work if the other person's experienced enough that they can at least give you some mostly useful tips. I know, like you said, it's a hard game and it's complex, and that doesn't mean it's going to be right, but I think that would have some merit to it, if you know what I mean. It's a lot quicker because you can iterate. It's like anything. If you iterate faster, you can get more value out of it. You have to sit there and play a 3-hour game every time.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get better at it. So, yeah.
I was going to say, as a question as well, do you guys try to maintain some sort of gaming discipline during your games? Because they do get quite long and it can get quite easy to get distracted and, plans that you've had go out the window or you start doing silly things. I've sort of noticed in the past, if I do like have a fun game, but at the same time, like you do try and like stick to what you're doing, not get too distracted.
You mean in a tournament? Are you talking about a tournament here?
Yeah. Tournament game, yeah.
Like Like, what do you mean by distraction? Like
don't drink.
No. Just well, that's the whole thing. Like, just how you're going to take it. Like, if you go in there to like, just sometimes you go to a tournament, you're like, I don't really care how I'm going to go. I'm just going to have a bit of fun, and you roll some dice. And I usually don't do too well there. I don't really care. That's the whole point. But other times you actually want to go in and do pretty well. And I found like when it comes to structuring how armies play, and like I said, sometimes, yeah, definitely. When I was playing Silver Dave, I was extremely distracted from the handsome man straight across from me. And I found that very distracting and very hard to play against. But unfortunately for Dave, I did get lucky. Yeah, you can't. But yeah, no, I've definitely found like maintaining some sort of discipline during games. And especially like sometimes you might be disciplined for like turn one, and then you just kind of relax and you just, oh yeah, whatever.
So,
and then,
but just go a bit, sorry, just so I understand what you mean by discipline. You sort of saying like you've got the quick, that cheat, that little cardboard thing that they gave you, like it's got turn one, like going through the turns, or is it like
going through the turns,
turn sequence, I should say.
Yeah, sticking to your strengths and like not taking excessive risks.
Yeah.
Trying to keep things within, proper
24
radiuses.
inches for
Yeah. The amount of time sometimes you just start moving stuff up, and then it's like, oh, I need to cast this magic. Oh shit, hang on. Like, sometimes you just you don't keep your head in the game, and which is fine. It depends on like if you're playing again for fun and you just want to have like a social game and a bit of a stuff around, or if you're actually playing to win. And they're sort of like the two variables where I find sometimes it can be hard to maintain 3 hours or 2.5 hours of discipline, game to game, especially by the end of, it's the end of, especially if you've done that for a 2-day tournament and it's like the second day and you're just wrecked because you've just, your mind's just been focused, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything special to maintain that sort of discipline, or if it's just down?
Not really. Not
Maybe.
really.
I was trying to find my cheat sheets, but I think they're way out of date, these ones. Damn it.
I do tend to try to stay focused through most of those games, but yeah, right. Like it's more the fatigue that gets me, if anything. Because that's like 9 hours of concentrating, whatever, through the day. And it does get exhausting because there's so many different variables to think of, and depending on how well you know your army, it can be harder or easier to keep on track of everything. And at the same time, you do want to have fun, talk to your opponent, enjoy the social aspect that the game is well known for. It's not just about just putting your toys down and just like blinkers on, just moving stuff around and moving dice. You want to actually enjoy it as well. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a balance there, I think. Sorry, what was that cool graphic you had?
Yeah, no, I'll bring it up, but I distracted you. Sorry, shouldn't have brought it up. I was clicking buttons.
Distracting me.
So, if you talk about discipline, so this is one of the things I do tend to do before I go into a tournament, especially with a new army. And I probably won't use it. I might use it once or twice during the tournament, but I find it's just writing it out. And I've definitely, I think, like edited it each list because you fiddle around with lists between games. So before I play you, Andrew, I'll usually fiddle around with this. Maybe I'll print it out. I generally, by the end of it, I'm playing a tournament. I'm not using it, but it's been good to try and just just trying to remember, especially at the beginning of the edition for the first year. It was just like, especially with the spells right through all the phases. It was like, so the idea with this one was, like what spells you're going to try go for. Remembering those certain, start of, the things you have to remember, like just like the Necrosphinx has the Soul Reaper thing, which again I still fucking forget. And everyone has anyone had the Soul Reaper done on them at the beginning of a game? Does anyone know what that rule is out there? I'll give you. I won't give you anything, but the Necrosphinx can choose I don't know if it's a wizard. See, I don't even know what the rule is, but basically they get to reroll hits or whatever against that thing, whatever. No one ever does. We have to pick it at the beginning of the game.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, cool. I don't think anyone. I guess that's part of the Necros thing. So it doesn't even need the rule. It's still good. So, but it's those type of things, like where you just like, and like this is right at the beginning of the edition. So I was like, oh, look for terrain to cause those bad charges. Like where you're trying to make sure that they have to go through it, stuff like that. The deployment, like things have got to be in a certain range, and then in the opponent's turn, what do I have to remember? Because like for example, with the casket, how many times do you do stuff and then you go, oh shit, you're actually -1 to hit me there, like that type of stuff. Where it's like, So I try to have a box there where it's like if Andrew's when it's their turn, I'm looking at it going, oh, that's right, I have to remember to make sure he rolls -1 or whatever it is. And then I had like the start of turn movement, shooting, combat, and just sort of ideas. But then down the bottom was magic because their magic was in each one. So like, just little things like that. Like, maybe not so much with this one, but different list. You'd definitely want to have some notes on it. So like, I don't know if that's some of the discipline you were talking about, but that was sort of some things I try to remember. But it was probably also just learning my list, trying to remember all the actual rules of certain things. I
used to do similar with little post-it notes. Yeah. And it looks so stupid because I'm the only one playing with these units going around. And I had these little post-it notes hanging off the back of the units to tell me all these little things that I always used to forget.
Yeah. Look, tokens, all those things, you should have them. I mean, I'll probably, ironically, I used to have a lot more tokens in 8th. I probably need to get my ass in gear. Especially like the little, bonuses and +1, -1. I started building them. I made that little printed one and I never did anything else with it. So
they actually look pretty good, those ones,
Yeah. I had another point on that. I can't remember what it was with the discipline. Geez. Wasn't a good one. Probably wasn't a good one anyway. There's probably heaps of things. I mean, if you're in the comments, has anyone been flagging up any of these? Tips, or they've been talking about hobby and stuff. Now they're ripping into.
Oh, it's gone all quiet.
Typical Aussie. It's always half time. Everyone's gone to bed.
Yeah. Everyone's swapping over.
It is half time. Wow, it's an hour.
It is.
Oh God. Okay.
It is. Shall we do the shout outs?
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about with it? I guess
no, because I think you want a bit of time for meta. And I did have a little bit of hobby. It might be good to give the right amount of time for that. So
cool. Okay, yeah. Well, I think we'll touch back on this a little bit in terms of maybe next week and into next New Year, because I reckon what we should do, maybe it's more a New Year topic where we actually do the things we're gonna, like every year. What's it called? Like New Year's resolutions. So next week can be predictions, but then we'll do a New Year's resolutions one in the New Year, I reckon. And the patrons can hold us to account. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to transition off that awesome topic and get into our patron shout out. These people keep us turning up every Monday/Tuesday to keep your hobby goodness going. If you want to learn more about that, jump over to patreon.com/oldworldfanatics and you get 2 things: a readout of me butchering your name, and
the more butchered the better.
Yeah,
I think they just
and also patron questions, which I think we have a few of. So we'll get through that just after this. So a big thank you to our 60 paid Patreons. We've got Mark Hewitz, who is smashing all the time with Wood Elves, really good. Shabizimus, Anvil of Doom, a Western Sydney Wargamers, Feud owner, Nicholas Carew, Vinny, Louis Spagnaros, McCallum, The Great Bray Shaman, King Pash, Tom Pickard, Not Matt, Jess Tors, Adam Lamb, The Orange Juicer, Maddie, Firebird 7137, Peter Holman, Mark Langley, Matt Hinton, who is in the country apparently. Did you guys see my email? Josh was probably too sick to get it. I even forwarded it to him.
I was.
That's all good. That can be in question
time. Hibernation.
Yeah, the old warrior, Silver Dave, Sporadic Sanity, Mark, Nick, Chris Bowler, Drunk Hammer, Nate, Ben, Shooter, Louis, Benoit, Cam the Dentist, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride, Flatworld's Edge, Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Keel Hurd, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Matt Morris, Perfidy, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Nananoum, Daniel Broadstock. That's your cousin, isn't it? Elliot Mitchum.
It's his birthday in 3 days.
Changing the page. Gilthos Draconos, Diesel, Denny Gamer, Robert Z, Tara Newhole, Tara Newhole. See, I almost got that straight out, didn't I? OG Whirler. Yeah, look, Bobby's gone. Bobby Patron fixed my exploit gherkin. That was last week.
He's lost it.
He's
He's
taken
thrown his
some time.
toys.
Yep.
Gunwitch,
He's
Zen
chucked it in.
Fox, and the OG.
Toys out of the pram.
Good old Todd Lloyd. So big thank you, guys. Cheers, really
Sorry,
appreciate it.
Tara Newhole though. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
Tara Newhole.
That's pretty top draw. I
It
like
is time for some questions quickly, though. I think we had a couple.
Oh, do you want to? Yeah, sure. Let's do questions, eh? Before I do that, I have just had a live stream picture.
Oh.
I really don't know what to make of this.
For a
The
second, I thought
dentist-
that was Jay's picture because she's onto the.
The dentist
thing.
says, "Damn, elf keeps fucking like Warhammer tables," and he's got his elf on a shelf sitting next to a little castle and a Christmas tree and a little. I think appropriate fence, little forest. I think it's on the edge of a Warhammer map.
Looks
You
like
almost
it.
play. That's
Good work in
War Master
progress there.
scale.
Yeah.
Very good. What are you playing on tomorrow? Are you playing tomorrow, Andrew?
Oh, we moved it to Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Shall I do some
Awesome.
questions?
Mm.
Perfett's question first up.
Not this one.
What color should I paint my new Marauders? I don't want to just do muted browns, but I also want to avoid going too bright and colourful. At the moment, I'm thinking greyish blue for the cloth, but not sure what else to use.
Did Cam change his name? Sorry.
What? Oh. Yeah, well, no, he's just he's logged in under the Grimdark.
Oh,
Fanatic
yeah,
40K. That's our sister 40K channel, which
Sorry, Josh. I'm so sorry. I saw that. He threw me out. I'm like, who's this guy? I was like, bit slow. I'm a bit slow.
he's like, fuck, rock account. Nah, leave it on there. It's marketing. I love it. So actually, I don't know if this was going to be my hobby too, because it's not that I've done anything, but I've been thinking. I've been scheming on the hobby front,
Ooh,
not
nice.
scheming on the list front, because I want to do this as well. So perfectly. I'm probably going to borrow a little bit of what Games Workshop are doing. They've got that bluey. They've gone like bluey pants and like that. That's not red. It's like a maroon type thing as well, and then different, grey cloak, wolf cloaks and stuff. I think the trick, so you've got, I was going to say, you've got yours now too, don't you? But see how they got like some grey pants and then they've got some like maroony ones as well. I'll probably stay similar to that.
That
But
does look good.
I'm going to try airbrush them again, like I've done with Beastman. But I'm going to try a different type of way of airbrushing. I want to actually see if I can force myself to literally like virtually not use a paintbrush on them. So like, so what I'm thinking of trying to do, and this is probably going to be done, I'm going to go black undercoat first, then put some grays down over like Zenithal grey, so I get that cloak, and then hit the leather parts around the belt, and then come back really low pressure just on the clothes parts with just those muted blues and reds and stuff. Then I will paint their skin properly with a brush. I think you have to, because I think if your face and your hands and stuff end up tidy, I was wondering if then once you put the oil over, it doesn't really matter that everything's a bit mishmash. I want to try that. I don't know, like, because I reckon, and then obviously you'd probably do a bit of before you do the oils, you'll be doing a little bit of the dry brushing and stuff to bring up some of the colors and things like that on like the the fur cloaks and stuff before you whack oils over the top. But I don't know, I don't know, I want to try and like really try and maximize how quick you could do it. So if you look at them, they'll look pretty messy, but if you're further back, I think oils just seem to get in the grooves really. I don't know what it is. So I want to try a batch like that and see if it comes out.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps you perfectly. If you want to paint, it's not going to, like with a brush, it's not going to help you, but that's what I'm going to try with mine.
I was going to go because I'm going chaos as well, just to join the dark side. Seems like everyone's going chaos at the moment. Just going a black with just like a white or grey highlight as much as I can. So like all black armor. with the Marauders, probably have to put a bit of leather in there, but like not
Yeah.
have many multicolored cloaks and clothes as they're quite dark already. Obviously the Marauders, but even just bring it darker still, just for more of a I don't know, more of a uniformed army, I suppose. So the whole thing's sort of
I
the
should
same
have
color.
taken a picture of one, but someone did one the other day with the standard bearer, and just it was pretty dark and dirty and stuff like that. And that was airbrushed, I think. And I just looked at it and went, yeah, but you do an army of that, it would look cool still.
Oh,
So
I wouldn't mind seeing that if you could.
I'll
somehow-
have to find it.
Do you remember
looks
where it was?
good.
Yeah.
I remember. That just, and the thing I'm excited about trying it with them is because they're bigger figure. Like when you're trying to airbrush, like they say the Ungors and stuff, they're quite small.
Mm.
But because these are a bit chunkier, and then obviously Chaos Warriors will be chunky again, you're like, well, maybe you can get away with it, you know?
Yeah.
So
We will see.
someone did suggest, where was that? Green and more green, praise Papa. Yeah, wow.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah. Toughness. Yeah, so I think they're always the type of miniature that you just throw three fairly similar, muted colors. They're still going to look fine. Unless you're Josh and you need to go full Slanesh and pink.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So you guys done speculating? Because I'm going to tell Perfectly how to paint his Marauders, which is black, dark grey, and then bright pink jackets.
Yeah.
That's exactly how he should be painting them. And I want to see it.
I'm waiting for some Monolith comments here. I'm waiting. Where's Silver Dave gone?
I think
Damn
it
it,
would look
Dave.
really good. Like if I actually was
Yeah,
going to get
man.
one of those, if I was going to get those minis, my army's painted like that anyway. So, but I think they would. Those guys could carry it off. They could pull it off. They're stylish enough.
So the cloak's pink, but like they still have like a grey wolf coat or something. Or white.
Yeah. You would have like a
light
light
colour.
greyish. Yeah, I think the color that they're really painted, like the wolf cloak is fine. You want a blue greyish,
Yeah.
and then a dark black for the ties and stuff, and then just sort of sets the beautiful, pretty, bright pink
Ooh.
jacket.
Yeah, but then you kind of like you're tied to that angry, sexy sort of cult.
Yep.
Where
What's
else?
their rule again? I can't remember what they get.
Angry, sexy cult.
What's their crap rule they get in that book? I don't remember.
I don't think it was too bad actually. I think the Slanesh one might.
Oh, it had some play, did it? I can't remember what it was.
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing
was
for the
red
new
as
Was
one.
it the poison one?
Oh, maybe.
I might be getting
Maybe.
confused, but yeah, the out of the latest ones, they all weren't that great. It was that one turn thing. The only one that was all right was
The one turn one for
Toughness
toughness is awesome, but it's one turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably
Yeah,
better. It
yeah.
was. Yeah.
It was that all weapon skill. I'm trying to find hatred. I'm like chaos need hatred. I'm trying to work out how to give them hatred or rerolls to hit. I reckon that's their biggest crux because it seemed like you can get like a lot of toughness buffs and this and that. It's just sometimes it's you're trying to work out you've either got a wound or you got a hit. Like usually in some races they're good at hitting, but they can't wound. Like it's just But anyway.
We've got another post on the live stream. This is Ghost.
Bloody
his
Ghost doing all these Nurglings.
I feel like these Nurglings are multiplied. Like I think it
Oh,
was like
he
half
did.
that number there the other
You just
week.
said they multiplied.
Oh, they just
Yeah, there you go.
okay. Get some paint on
A
them.
lot of Nurglings. 1, 2, 3.
I know.
God, they paint so
Oh,
easy.
10,
Contrast
12.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. Yeah, they multiplied. Yeah.
That's
Shall I do the next question?
Yeah,
a lot of swarms on the board.
So Zen Fox asks, for those of you with a dozen unfinished projects, is it a pile of shame or a pile of potential? Does it spark joy when you hold it? And if it does spark joy, then is hoarding miniatures actually a problem? Or is it actually just okay if it's giving you joy anyway?
Okay.
I don't think it's a problem.
You guys want to see like how bad my hobby space is? I will. Hang on.
I'd
Oh,
love to see it. Oh, this is. Oh dear. Okay, that's something messy.
you've
Oh,
literally just
man.
got sprues all down there.
Yeah, just got
Yeah,
piles
yeah.
of random screws and bags. Yeah, Vivian would not be on board with this. Oh wow.
I don't know how much of that you can see, but there's me and there's just Warhammer shit just piled around. It's like you go into a hoarder's house and there's just hoarding and like, toilet paper, used toilet
Yours
paper.
or just Warhammer. So it's not really hoarding.
And empty beer bottles and
It's future
stuff.
potential. It's sort of saving for retirement. That's like I keep saying about this, that we're all going to have a really good retirement. And that's what we're doing. We just, we won't need to buy anything in retirement. We'll just be trying to get through our hordes of grey plastic and resin
That's
printed
true.
things.
That's true.
But
Forward thinking. We're thinking about our futures. That's right.
I do want to clean up and I want to get some space. The problem I've got with this shed, I've got no friggin' space. And because of the reno, I've got so much stuff in here. It is crazy. So a lot of my stuff has been taken out of boxes and pushed over here. And I can't move the boxes back because I got windows and timber and frigging stuff just everywhere. Tools.
Once it's done, it'll be awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
My thing, and this is just me in general. It wasn't even just Warhammer, but it's mostly Warhammer now, where it crops into every room of the house at some point. So like our spare room is, until I had a spare room, because when we had a smaller house, I had the tote, those like the plastic like tote things where you can put armies in them and they slide on, like they're the ones that go under beds, so they're a bit skinnier or shorter. I used to have them under the girls' beds. I used to remember because they were like kids, they were like 5 or 6, and I used to have a whole demon army under there, and I always thought that's a bit weird. They actually had a look at them and freaked out with some of the miniatures. But so like the spare bed has like 6 of them under the bed, and then I've got like out near the garage is full of Warhammer, and then obviously under the stairs is a storage thing, and it's full of Warhammer, and then I still have Warhammer sitting here, and then obviously
it's so spread
display cabinet. It just keeps spreading into different rooms. I can't, and I think I'll need another display cabinet. I'm starting to wonder how I get their strength up to see if my wife's okay with me putting another display cabinet somewhere, but it won't be in the office. It'll be like upstairs in the lounge room or something.
It's like Homer when he's like hiding all his beer and he's like beers in like the toilet, except it's just Warhammer.
Yeah. At least now it's just all over the place. It's just sitting there. I think Kate sat on it this morning, maybe it was. She came and sat on the lounge here to do something, and he's like, "Oh crap! Oh, that's fine. It's plastic. It's okay."
Yeah.
So the Tomb King, the new Tomb King model, she's just sat on the box.
Oh, the box. It's fine.
So no, Sean, you just keep buying and keep printing. That's what I think.
Exactly.
Good word for us all. Maybe I should be
Gabriel's struggling. What do you do if none of your work is worth displaying? That's
a bit
always
harsh.
worth doing it.
It's always worth displaying. Absolutely.
Display it to yourself. That's what I do. Nobody wants to come here, so keeps me happy. It's there. It's for you, not for anyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'm going to keep this going because Horvath also had a good question that sort of related. Did you ever take a full hobby census where you count every single painted mini you own and maybe even put them into an actual document? No, I've never done this. I usually make something like that at the end of each year where I take a group photo of every finished mini of a given year. Also make a list of everything I painted, which in theory could be combined to a single document. Guys, the longer I was reading it out, the more I like that idea. And even better, he actually provided an accompanying
I saw the picture. Where was that?
Photo. Yeah, I got it. So this is his. I guess this is from 2025. That's actually a lot of output for 1 year. I think. Like,
you found your doppelganger.
I think this is 1 year.
Yeah. There you go. He's on. Yeah. Josh has got his soul doppelganger.
No, I've seen that before, cool. Where people do the year in review of what they've done. I think that's actually quite interesting.
I can't do it. That just gives me anxiety. I can't be that organized.
I don't think I could pull out all my stuff like that, like in one go. But for the year, maybe I'd probably forget. The problem with me, I can't remember what. Oh no, I probably could work it out. I would like to see not only what I've painted or what I've printed as well. It'll be
Ooh.
interesting.
Nice.
I think in the early days, I used to have a spreadsheet of all my models because I didn't have them. They were fully out in a garage, and it was harder to, what sometimes you go, how many spearmen do I have of that? Like that type of thing. And just had like probably not every model, but like, like the main stuff. But now, no, just forgotten.
I think there must be a certain satisfaction being able to go back and go, yeah, I painted up this, painted up that, painted up this, and then it seems effort to line them all up and take a photo of them. But I like the idea of having a little spreadsheet where you go, yeah, I painted all this. And I don't know, sometimes, guys, I can't remember what I've painted. And like, do I have a unit of this painted up?
Especially year to year.
Like 3 years, 4 years later.
Mm.
So we're going to do it. Is that what we have to do by the end of January? Assemble our...
I don't know that I'm actually going to do it, but I am intrigued by the idea of it.
I'm not going to lie.
They're just like, nah.
And Zenfox had a comment. I don't know if this is a question or not, but I'm going to put it up anyway because it was big fat nostalgia for me. Throwing back to the nostalgia episode, did anyone look at these obsessively? This is before I actually started playing. And yes, I agree. I think I went through that quite a bit as well. This is like a little magazine, like a little thin little magazine.
Yeah.
I think it's
the
same title as the battle book. It's funny how weird little bits of the hobby you just get a nostalgia hit out of nowhere. I must admit that artwork though probably does more for me than the actual little thing because it just takes me back to the 5th Ed battle book. Like, because I read that thing obsessively, like just with breakfast almost every morning, just reading through it. Takes it back. Anyway, that wasn't really a question, more like a observation. And then finally, last question from Plasman. These are all very hobby questions, guys. I don't know what's going on with this podcast, but everything has been very generalized today. Do you have particularly strong hobby-associated environment memories that bring on flashbacks? Wow, yeah, all about nostalgia too. To explain what I mean, a lot of my early hobbying was done in a game shop that doubled as a very chintzy gift crap store, and also in a freezing cold suburban shed with my brother-in-law smoking like a chimney the whole time. So those two things, cluttered glittery crap stores and the smell of tobacco, old legends, and oil stains, instantly bring flashbacks to wargaming for me.
So, yeah, like totally. I mean, I remember I used to catch the train down from Newcastle. Well, not Newcastle, it was Morisset where I lived. To Chatswood and spend every school holidays down at the Games Workshop at Chatswood for years. Like, it's probably a couple of years. I'd go down and my nan used to live, my nan and pop used to live in Sydney, so I'd go down, stay all day at the hobby store because people used to do that. You go to the Games Workshop all day, basically. It was like free childcare. But then I'd go to their house at night or whatever, and then come back the next day. I might even stay there in a couple of days, and then I'd train it back with my mate. Like he'd go down with me and stuff. So it's just what you used to do when you're 14 and stuff. No, definitely.
Was it a just environment was the question, wasn't it?
Just like you have a weird association with wargaming from your childhood, like that were environment
from your childhood.
I remember building a little fort for my wood elves, and so I think the smell of paddle pop sticks and PVA glue together. I don't know, for some reason that takes me back to those times. That's probably the only example I can really think of where a particular smell, not so much tobacco or old engines, but it was actually hobby.
But even just like with that, Josh, now like you can be out somewhere else and there's just a certain smell of that PVA or like a certain super glue or a slight paint. Like we just like associate that with Warhammer. Just because of the like the plasticky smell, the plastic cement and plastic, like once it like that melts. Now these days, like the alcohol and the resin smell, it's like printing.
Or the in topic today, the tears of your destroyed opponent. That takes back to Warhammer.
The tobacco, I'll just say the tobacco smell though, that's funny because my best mate, the Andrew that I always have talked about saying that I need to get him, I want to paint a dwarf army and make him play because that's the guy I used to play against. He used to come over to my house and stay like so he's the guy who went to Sydney with me, but he used to come over on say school holidays and stay like Monday to Friday at my place. And we would just be in my room, door shut, making scenery and like painting crap and stuff.
Yeah.
But my dad's a smoker. And back then, you smoked in the house, like no one cared, like even though my mum hated it. And he doesn't smoke. His family were like they didn't do any of that stuff. They were heaps healthy. But he always says, like even now, he's like, when I smell people smoking, I actually have a good memory of it because it's like that was my house smell. Like he remembers like coming over and hobbying and all that stuff, even though the tobacco part is like not a good thing. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because I have bad memories of parents smoking, but yeah, it was just funny. It was like, it's funny what people think about. Yeah.
I think one thing that I'd probably add in for that is I've only ever seen it like maybe once or twice, but back in the 90s, again, when I was a kid, used to go to this place in Perth and it was a hobby shop as such, but it was like actually quite large for a hobby shop. Like it'd be, I don't know, like 400 square meters maybe of like space, and it was quite central in Perth, which is a bit strange for a hobby shop. But anyway, in there it was just like random hobby stuff. So there was just like blister packs of like, and in the 90s, like there was just like lots of random, new up and comers. So like heaps of lead miniatures. There was all sorts of stuff and just comics and things. But I do remember as a kid, like I'd go there and they used to have like these, this is a little bit off Warhammer, but they'd have like these artsy, like, like baseball cards and basketball cards, but they were like naked chicks. So I'd be like, have like, this big glass, they got like a display cabinet, they got like all these like cards, and I'd be like, this little 10-year-old, I'm like, oh yeah.
So they'd have that out and they got all the hobby stuff in the same shop.
Yeah. It was all together. Bunch of, hairy neck dudes, like the neck beards in there, they're loving it.
What the heck?
This little 10-year-olds, I'm in there loving it. I'm just like, oh yeah, can I have the brunette? And I'll have the blonde with the big tits. And it's just like, I just remember that. I'd just get a couple of Warhammer figures, some booby cards, and that'd be me. But
I'm surprised you didn't take up Slanesh. Maybe Josh.
I know.
Yeah. But it was the chaotic these stores. It was like somebody's just like coming and just there was just shit everywhere. And it's so weird because you go into a normal hobby shop or game shop and it's all lit up and it's all nice. But every now and again you'll go into a hobby shop and it's just like this dingy, just shit everywhere. And you're just like, yeah, I remember a place like this. Where are those booby cards?
Man, I want to have to dig up something like a picture of them in like the Wayback Machine on the internet or something. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Funny,
completely innocent of all this.
Yeah.
That's funny. Now we did have another. It wasn't a question, but it was an email, and I think it was direct to us. So I won't read the whole thing out because I'm not sure how much Matt wanted to know. But one of our patrons is actually over in Melbourne doing a 3-month stint in Southeast Australia. So that's pretty cool. So I did he reached out to us. He did actually ask, and this is what I messaged you about, Josh, was are there any FLGSs or tournaments which I should definitely put into travel to? So I guess if he's here now, which he said he was, he's going to CanCon as well, apparently. That December, January, February. So obviously Old World Rankings would have all the Aussie tournaments in that.
Yeah. There's not much in Victoria in the next 3 months.
There's not. That's what I wasn't sure. But he is coming up to Sydney. But I think he said he's doing that before Christmas. So that doesn't really help. But yeah, I know there's like a couple of Sydney ones obviously in January. So if you are coming up, there's bloody it's sold out, but you can be on the wait list for the what's it called? Summer not Slam, Sling? Summer Sling? Is that what it's called?
I thought it was Slam.
The Old Hammer one. And then Behemoths have got their pairs on the first week of February, I think. So there's a few of them coming up. So
And if he wants to look for a FLGS in Melbourne, I think Gaming Arena is probably the one to go to. Really nice layout and awesome tables and a good little selection of minis as well.
Yeah, but no, definitely. I mean, I'm got him on email, so maybe we can catch up if he's around. I'd love to catch up with any patrons who are doing travels like that. That would be awesome. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, thanks for the questions, everyone. Well, I guess we'll see what.
Can I pop this up before we move on?
Yep.
This was Mark's example of a messy table. And I think, what was his little comment? He said, you should only have enough space to paint if you take the lid off your wet palette. But that is awful. Like, there is no space on that desk for anything. Like, I guess that's the wet palette. With a visor sitting, there's no space for the visor. The visor is sitting on the wet palette.
It's a thing of beauty.
Oh,
that is fantastic.
Oh my god.
That is my hobby space.
It's giving me anxiety looking at this hobby space. Oh,
it's almost too neat.
There's the Beastman dice. I love how he's bought all the dice for the old world.
He's got stuff on the bottom too, just like everywhere. Every nook and cranny. Jeez.
Where have I got that?
Terrifying.
Is that a big bottle of acetone he's got?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
100% pure acetone.
It's
only a liter.
Those things he's got. Where is that? Those eggshell things? I can't remember where I got it from. Those package. Looks like he's got all them for his basing or whatever you use it for.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you said that before. So, yeah, Feb 7th is the Old World Behemoths doubles.
Yes. Yep. First week. First weekend. Weekend of Feb or something. Yep. That'd be good.
Yep.
Cool. Well, what time is it? Did you say you got some hobby? Or do you want to talk a little bit about the
net, I think?
Yeah. Well, it's not a heap to talk about with it, but I just wanted to bring a couple of things up with it. I don't know if you guys have followed along. I was more just a bit of a point at the end of the year here where I've been noticing it every week because I go through and I add some army lists in and play around, and it's probably comp related, but Cathay's still right up there, but I feel like comp's starting to pull them down a little bit, and it won't look too much like it, but actually that is not the link I wanted to share.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, because depending on what data point you draw from, Gomo, it can look massively different, because I think you had it set at like last 14 days or something. And in that one, it was like...
Well, that's what I noticed. It was in the last couple of weeks I noticed that it started to drop. And Warriors was... And here you can see here where Cathay's down here and Orc and Goblins and Warriors have sort of taken... Because up until then, Grand Cathay's been like podium, like way at the top. Like if you go back to when they popped out or close to it, they were like right up here, see that 49 first places versus 20. That's like, and they wouldn't even be the appearances. That's actually, you can't tell. Where's the appearances? So Cathay's all the way down here at 44 appearances or whatever it was, 379. Sorry, Warriors of Chaos is all the way up here at 690. Yet Grand Cathay do 49 first places and 28 to Cat. Obviously they through the roof. So I feel like
quickly
months, right?
No. It is. Yeah, pretty much now. You're right. Yep. Since they came out.
Just for the Orcs and Goblins, Gomo, do you know what lists they're running? Because they seem to be doing quite well. Well, they're usually not doing too bad, but third is
most of them are taking a lot of war machines. It's like they're going the old school. But to me, the power, and that's because they're good against Cathay when you have 3 or 4 bolt throwers, 2 rock lobbers, 2 doom divers, and a bunch of Nikon fanatics. You can usually not care about what the other person has, like at least in terms of the Cathay stuff.
Yeah.
And these the more, and then I think with Orcs that ties into the infantry game a bit too, where you end up with a lot more units, or at least a couple of good units that you can put templates on top of as well. So I think that's why that's those lists that have you see a lot of. Yeah. And obviously characters are a mix of, You probably don't see the double wyverns like you used to and stuff like that. But, you don't need them.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, just interesting how the meta can adapt. Speaking of the new meta problem, can you change it to the last 7 days?
Ooh.
Look at those Tomb Kings. Out of control.
With 11
Need to be
events.
comped.
The Grand Cathay back on top. No, but so it wasn't, and this is I'll need to rework this because now it's just starting to happen more, which is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. Was not so much that Cathay is changing, it's more comp that's doing it. But what I've noticed too, which is really exciting, and what we've talked about the last couple of weeks, is there's been a lot more events coming in, and you can't see it here, that are the battle march events. And that's what's tying
in
into
this
some of
analysis.
this. Yeah, and unfortunately on this stats here, I don't break that particularly down yet, but I will, because that would massively skew some of these a bit.
Lists. I think it would. Yeah, because it changes completely.
And look at this host of Towson's got the most wins on this.
I saw that. I was like, what's going on there?
Well, a lot of them are, some of them are the 2,000 point ones.
Because you could break down by list size or something on this, couldn't you?
Yes, in the list you can, which doesn't give you a full list breakdown. But I could on the other screen. It's a bit performance hungry, and I need to do some more caching, so that's what I haven't done it yet. But in any case, you're seeing a lot of the when you go and have a look at the Battle March events. It's interesting. I haven't even digested it yet, but it's really cool to see like different armies. Like the meta's totally different. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like and especially if you're playing Renegades as well. Like you see some of these got me thinking about what armies would actually do play really well in that low point level. Like because I feel like it's the ones that are either tanky or they have some for example Empire. Like that Empire there has like a Hellblaster volley gun, and if you hit the right thing, you wipe off their biggest unit in one turn, because it's such a small thing. And you get a real big swing, and even elves get up there a little bit with Battle March, I think, because they can, they can do a bit of the run around and just take units out one at a time type thing. So the Battle March, it's just the Battle March meta in general. I think next year, maybe there's more topic for next week. What are we going to see going forward? I think definitely with Old World Rankings specifically, I'm going to have to definitely split this up because it's a totally different meta game, and it's actually getting popular by the look of it. There's a lot more events in the last couple of weeks even that people have been doing these Battle March events.
Have there been any in Australia of these on Old World? Like, can you do by region? You can do by region here, can't you? Oh yeah, all regions.
You probably can. I don't even know my
it's
own
on the far.
thing.
Yeah.
I keep moving things around.
No, not in
no,
Australia. Oh, okay. That's got to happen.
Yeah, so it's and you probably can't. I don't actually do the list size on these, so I'll have to do that. Give people more search opportunity there. Because I think that's like we talked a little bit about
becoming it's a growing area of the game. It's never really been explored that much. I mean, there was warbands and stuff in 6th ed, but during 8th, playing 8th with you guys, it's not a thing at all. It never is.
It never has been. Like I said, warbands, it was always like that. Like it was like a little supplement thrown in. But now that they've done it definitely with, 40K definitely now, but AOS with Spearhead. I mean, if they can do that with Old World.
But I don't know why it hasn't popped up on War Fanatics.
Oh, did he? Maybe that one hasn't come through. Oh, it might not have lists in there. Did that? One of them I didn't get
list size.
So,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
So it might be there. But it'll we'll split these things out so they're a bit easier to diagnose. There's a fair bit of stuff I got to go back and redo now because especially I'm seeing more square based comp coming in too, which makes it more annoying because you end up with a 2,000 point tournament which has multiple points in it, and that just throws the whole frigging thing out.
Is that becoming a popular comp?
Well, I wouldn't say it's popular, but I'm seeing it more.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously Rob runs it a lot, and I see a couple of Canadian tournaments have won them. Obviously, probably because Val's Canadian. So like, it's funny, like, you know, depending on who does what, probably that community embraces it a bit. So
yeah.
Although UK have not embraced Renegades, so it's kind of interesting. So
yeah.
Bizarre. They're almost out of the box most of the time, UK, I think. So
yeah.
So I didn't have anything massively different like involved. Just sort of just highlight that the metas. I think comps come into comp Cathay, so that's going to change again in Jan for sure, depending on what happens. But it's been really refreshing to see these little tournaments, and it's getting me a bit more enthused to try and, like I said, finish a couple of the little 500-point units like the Slayer Army and the Marauders, and obviously finish my Cathay. But with Cathay, it's probably more, maybe I will do the whole 500 points, 750, go up like that, rather than just try to smash out 2,000 points.
Are you just going to do Marauders, or are you going to do full-on Chaos?
I don't know, man. I've just got them because they look cool. I want to try this airbrush stuff. So
okay.
They may never become an army. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Just do it. Just do all these little battle march armies. Just whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
The beauty of
that would be pretty good, actually, because you could have more armies, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, I think we were saying this with even the Slayer one. When I started doing that, I was like, man, if you get 500 points down, suddenly you go, oh, it's not hard to get to 1,000. It's not hard to. Yeah, and look, we've got the Slogo kicking off next year on the Discord group. So, like, there's all that stuff that can help you do it as well. So it's not like there's no reason to do small armies. There's heaps of reasons. But I've just tended to be an army painter, like paint a whole 2,000 points. And, so it's time to branch out and try and play a small game, because I haven't played one. I don't think I've ever played one, except for like when I was a kid. That's because you had to. She didn't have any miniatures. I don't think I've intentionally, outside of a slow grow, just gone and played Battle March or that type of size.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. What are you talking about? I can't believe you haven't really done it.
No,
like I've now painted, in the last 6 months, I painted a 500 or 400 point high elf army and a orc and goblin warband as well. That probably aren't going to get any bigger than they are. You know,
I reckon I can even wrangle one of my kids into playing it if I set it up and went, there, done. It's 500 points, play it. But they probably, like Zoe, my youngest, she probably would. I twisted her arm enough.
I will pay you.
Yeah.
No. Only get your pocket money if you play Warhammer with me, with Daddy.
You're such a nerd. Yes, I am.
What's Mark saying? You can paint 3 750-point armies instead of 1 2,000. That's right. Exactly. So that's the plan. We'll see. Coming up the holidays. Well, in Australia, we've got a couple of weeks off, and maybe things will settle down. I can get into some. I did do a little bit of painting. Let's go into the hobby then, because I didn't do jack. I tried to finish my bloody balloon, and I almost finished the crew, and then
nice.
I've been building too many software products, people. Sorry, but everyone's gonna benefit, because not only obviously world rankings, but if we can get the other products going, I don't need to work so much. That's the idea.
That's it.
The long term.
Yeah,
I'll play the long game, people. Yeah.
It'll all end up with more hobby in the end.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Andrew's got a bit, and Josh has got a bit, I think he said. Did you?
Does he?
I can't remember. One of you said it.
Go for it, Andrew.
I've got heaps of hobby. I think I've showed you. Sorry, you probably can't hear me. I'm just reaching
Never can hear. Nice atmospheric.
Yeah. So I've got, I don't know how many of these guys I got. Like, I think I've got about 60, and on Sprue I've got like maybe another 100. I don't know if I'll get all them out or need them. But I think I've sort of finished my Hobgrots to a tabletop standard.
Okay.
But I just got, because originally I was doing just like a basalt, you won't be able to see it, base, but it looks a bit shit. So what I've done is today I've gone out and bought, sorry, not today, but it arrived in the mail from Combat Company, is the base ready Volcanic Island mix.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Which annoyed me because the old one just came in a box, and like the box wasn't sealed, so the little plastic box came open. So I had this not wooden. My cardboard box, the big, they sent it into this big cardboard box.
That was all covered in it. It was all everywhere.
And shit everywhere. I'm just like, oh man. So I sent him an email. I'm like, look, I can salvage it. I don't want a refund or anything. I'm like, maybe just think about possibly sealing this stuff up before you send it out to somebody. So anyway, but I've done that today, and I printed up a bunch of 60 by 100 bases. And again, you probably won't be able to see it, but I'm going for like a volcanic island look, and I'm going to be not volcanic island look, but like
hang on. So the volcanic one you're talking about, is that black?
It's just
mostly black sand, but it's got it doesn't have other colors in it.
Chunks. No, okay. I was going to say
there was one that has that. Hey, like it's got an orange or something, or I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I'm after a chaos waste, and I was almost looking at like a reddy orange sort of like sand, like a wastes using that base mix as well. They got it's like a Mars one, and I was going to do that, but I thought, stuff it. I'll do this. It's just going to be easier. And I've got heaps of skulls I've painted up and skeletons. So I'm just going to like skulls and stuff around.
Yeah, well, that'll good because that'll offset the black and stuff.
Yeah, and just get like a few dead bits and pieces. And I went on to, because my inspiration for this was, funnily enough, World of Warcraft. Josh might be able to have some remembrance of, I think it was like Burning Steeps or like you know where the Chaos Dwarves are and the other one in WoW, and they were like, it's all like burnt out, it's a lot volcanic sort of ground, and but I don't know where to get it. I'm trying to find like where you get like little burnt, like little tree stumps and things like that, or like little burnt bits of wood.
3D printed for sure. Really?
Yeah, maybe. I'll see how it goes.
Could you use black mulch? Like mulch from the garden. Like I've got black mulch out the front. It looks sort of like burnt. I mean, you paint it, so it doesn't matter, I guess. But
okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll look into that.
Literally pieces of wood or whatever it is. I guess that's black.
Yeah. The Badlands. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Where all
the it's like Black Rock Mountain.
I think that's Alex. It was a same nozzle, my 0.4. So it's, but yeah, it came up all right. I think I printed up about 10.
I haven't seen many burnt. Why don't you just burn some twigs and then just like use that to get the texture?
Because that's a good idea, and I'm not that smart. That's why, Josh. So I will now steal your idea.
Burn his shed down. You watch next week.
Damn it, Josh! Shed's burnt down.
Just like, where'd you do it?
Tell me to do it outside.
What? You should have done it outside. Oh yeah.
Be like Mark with his like 1 liter bottle of acetone, just
explodes.
That's it. That's it.
So the dwarfs. When do we have to get lists in? 29th of January. I mean December for Summer Sling. I think.
I think it is something like that. Okay. I thought.
Yeah. Cool. So you're pretty much settled with the Chaos Dwarves, just playing around the list a little bit.
Yeah, because after you had those ambushes, I'm like, I think ambushes would be good. So I might take a little unit of just between you and me, so nobody else knows, a little unit of Hobgrot, not the slitters, but the other ones, the ones that ambush.
Cool.
But I'm trying to work out what size because they're a little bit expensive, and I'm like,
and you don't 12. Want,
then if you kill 3, then it's pointless.
That's shit. But that's exactly. That's the issue with the whole objective thing. Yeah. Harder to shoot. It's probably harder to kill an ambush. Well, if they turn up turn 2, they might. But yeah.
Yeah.
How many points are they each?
I think when you kit them out, they're like maybe 7.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So it ends up being kind of expensive. If you go big, right.
Yeah.
So like 4 points.
Yeah. By the time they kit it out, I think they're 6 or 7 or something. I gotta But anyway, yeah, they were just enough where you're starting to, like you said, get a little bit expensive if you lose 3 guys, and they're pretty much because they can't do shit in combat. They're not good.
Yeah, it's not like I'm actually being quite impressed with that little minimum unit of Primal Warhead. You know, just the 10 gauls, 10 ungauls, like especially when it ambushes and it just pops. I mean, I ambushed it back in. No, it was in your side. Yeah. It doesn't do a lot, but you know, if it has to fight or charge, at least it's 20 things that can do something.
Yeah, I just saw that.
I think the only other list, I'm going to pretty much take similar what I've done. Obviously, I did it wrong because for some reason I thought you could only take 2 characters. So there's a chance I'll take 3 characters. But I'm probably going to stay almost the same just because that way I don't have to do a whole lot and just finish the harpies. Or go back to the Doom Bull build and bring a Doom Bull, flying Doom Bull, like as in like lean into the demonology with a Doom Bull and Gore block again.
Yeah, okay.
So have the Voltide as a shaman or 2 little shamans with Voltide if I need it, but don't lean on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a lot of points. But I also think just the way they're skewing this, there's going to be more infantry and stuff to, you know, you don't have these big flying things or these big vamps and stuff, and you sort of think, well, okay, maybe there's more chance for the Doom Bull to get into combat and actually wreck face.
And he would be very, very hard to in combat unless you got a dragon. And even a dragon, as we saw, the Doom Bull can hold his own. Especially if you can get one shot off at the dragon first with Voltide or something. Yeah. So
that's what I was thinking. But I've got to play around with that. I haven't done that yet. So I'll have to reach out to my Doom Bull buddies, Beastman buddies like Mark and Trav and see if I can come up with something different on the Doom Bull side. But because it is fun. It's fun to have that. He's awesome. And I love the model. I think it's one of my best Beastman guys I've done. And it's just like, every time I usually take him, everyone runs away from him.
Yeah, but, he looks angry.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll have to play around with the list in the next week. Get it sorted.
Yeah, well, I get to try this list out with Cam, and then hopefully we might be able to get another game in.
I could paint another Shaggoth. Mark said he's currently testing double Shaggoth with Doom Block with Voltide. See, I think you've onto something, Mark. Can you take 2? You can take 2 rare, hey, with the comp. Yeah, there's 2 rare, 3 special.
Sure.
I know they've cut some stuff down, but I think it's still 2 rare. So.
Yeah. It must be because I got. Well, I hope it is because I got 2.
You've got the 2 tanks, not tanks, but Doom. I can't remember. Iron Demons. Yeah.
Iron Demons. Yeah. Oh yeah, these guys are painted up too, kind of. So they're sort of finished. I was thinking about doing some airbrushing, like maybe because it's got that weird little skull at the front.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Maybe just give him like fire eyes and like fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
Cool. Did you get anything done, Josh, or just sick?
I haven't, and I just want to talk about that briefly because I think this is the longest period I haven't done any hobby for a good few years. I haven't done any hobby for like a good month, guys.
Oh wow! Okay,
maybe 4 or 5 weeks, which for me is a long time.
Yeah.
No, but I usually do.
Yeah, it's fasting.
All the time. Yeah. Because I got distracted because I rebuilt my whole computer and then I started working on doing like a network drive and doing all this like other stuff. That, by the way, I was using AI to help me and it was helping me do stuff that I don't think I would be able to do if I was just doing it by myself at all. It was so damn helpful. Just be able to take a photo or something I was lost at, put it in the chat GTP and go, what do I do with this? And it just like most of the time would be helpful.
Amazing.
Like 80% of the time, it would just give me the answer, or it might have to do a second one. But yeah, I was just quite distracted by that. So I haven't printed anything. I haven't done any painting for since like early November, and but I feel refreshed almost. Like so, I'm actually like, because that's the thing. Like people go through droughts of hobby and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And, I was thinking, oh, it's been ages since I've been painting. Am I just not lacking motivation or something? And for me, it was more just the time thing, and just like I had other things I was working on. But the good thing with a hobby is it doesn't really ever go away, and it's always just sitting there when you want to do it, when you've got time, when you're in the right mindset. And so I didn't put any pressure on myself to go, oh yeah, I've got to start painting again, that type of thing. But now I'm actually like keen to do it. Like I'm like, yep, all right, this is the time. I don't need more distractions anymore. I'm gonna start painting some of my stuff up. So yeah, I'm gonna get my Warhammer boys out and start painting them up.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that. I'm still sitting on
That's
the
my next hobby.
but...
That's my next project. Because I printed them, you guys saw them. I had them undercoat and everything.
Yeah, the little backpack, like the bed rolls and the backpacks, and
it
was awesome.
Yep, it was pretty good.
My next job. That's my next project. I'm gonna hit that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Cool. That's my little story.
No, I will start. I'll get the. Everyone has to hold me accountable.
Oh,
he's gone.
We need to hold him accountable.
Didn't knock you guys out.
No, you just disappeared. You just said you need to hold me accountable, and you disappeared, which was actually
I'll be back next week with painted balloon. That's I need to finish it. That's what
gotta have it.
I thought you were going to say a Mordheim warband. Was like,
the balloon's done. It's just the freaking crew members. But anyway, need to freaking get it done. So yell at me if it's not done next week, people.
Damn it, go away. It's coming up to Christmas too. You're making these promises.
Well, I would like to have that one done, and then that means that we go away for Christmas for a few days, come back, and then I can get back on some other stuff. I don't know, something new. Well, like putting more models. I need to start putting all the cafe together and the other stuff. But I didn't want to build any more models until that's finished. So. Yeah,
I've got to remember where, like, we really need to start. Maybe you and me as well. Doing this slow grow and actually commit to something.
Yeah. Like an actually do Battle March campaign thing as well. Is that what you mean? Like do the game part of it as well, or just slow grow in general?
Well, just maybe between you and me. I don't know if we can get anybody else involved in the local scene, and maybe just trying to get
we could actually do one up and like proper campaigny type thing. Like not over the top, maybe not as much as Josh does, but
yeah. Maybe we can get Ken involved, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, well, that's we should sort that out.
Yes.
We can do it in line with the slow grow on this thing too anyway, and be good. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's probably wrapping it up, I reckon. Mark's just volunteered to be a narrative.
Myself getting
you did well, Josh. You did well. Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys, to us ramble for another 2 hours. I will just say quickly, next week it's our prediction episode, which I think we'll go back through what we did last year versus what we'll predict for next year. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I'm hoping the last episode of the year will be with the rest of the other crew, the Old World Behemoths and 2+ Pod and stuff like that. Maybe some Dwellers, to see if we can get a bit of a or maybe just the New South Wales ones. I don't
crossover.
know. But we'll see. I haven't been.
We're becoming veterans of the podcasting local community. Like this is like our third year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. So we'll do that, and then that'll be it for another 2026. 52 episodes of wow, well done. So big thank you to not only you two awesome people, but also all our patrons and all the other people on YouTube. If you're watching this back, please like, subscribe, leave us some comments. Tell us share your hobby with us, and I guess we'll see you next week for episode 124. Thanks for listening to Old World Fanatics.
Guys.
These guys.
Yeah.